So number 2 is very similar to number 1. The steps are factor and cancel. So all we're going to do is factor and cancel. Now, a few people I saw tried to factor things that don't actually factor any further, like this. Y plus 3, it's already factored. And y minus 4, it's already factored. You don't have to, I tried to make it easy for you by not making you factor all 4 things. You don't have to multiply that by, it is already a factor. This, however, will still factor. And since we've got a y squared and a 16, that's going to factor like the normal trinomials do. But this one down here is just a GCF, very similar to what we did in number 1, where we had a GCF on the bottom. So this one right here is just a GCF. This one's going to factor like the normal one, so we're going to have a GCF down here. Okay, so you should only have to factor those 2 things. So we're going to know we're going to have y and y, and then you're asking yourself what 2 numbers multiply to give you 16. There's 1 and 16, 2 and 8, and 4 and 4. I didn't see anybody use 1 and 16. That was good. I saw a few people use 2 and 8. The problem with 2 and 8 is if you add 2 and 8, you don't get 0. And you can see that there isn't a middle term here. So we have 0 y's. So I need to be getting 0 y's, which means I'm going to have to be using 4 and 4. Right? And then my signs, if I want to get a negative 16, one of them has to be positive and one of them has to be negative. A couple people also put 8 and 8 here, thinking I think 8 plus 8 equals 16, but it actually should be 4 and 4 because we're multiplying. So that's an easy fix. For the GCF, you are asking yourself what number goes into 2 and 6. What could you divide them both by? Or what can I pull out? What can I factor out? And the answer is 2. So then you're asking yourself 2 times what gives you 2y? And 2 times what gives you 6? And then of course we have a plus sign in between there. So remember, the steps are factor and then cancel. So we have it all factored now. You can put this as one fraction. So all you need to do from here is cancel and write your answer down for the expression. Right? Now the domain restrictions only come from the denominator. So we should only see 1 from here and 1 from here. The 2 cannot turn into a 0. It doesn't magically change what number it is. So you don't have to worry about that as a domain restriction. But what number would make this become a 0? What plus 3 would become a 0? That's your first domain restriction that you're going to put over here. And then what would make this be 0? What minus 4 would give you 0? That's your second domain restriction. So you should have 2 domain restrictions here. And then after you cancel this, you'll write your final expression right up here.